The pads were on. The action intensified in the offense. They might have a pulse. It is SNL. Landry Locker, Cody Stutes with you. I will say today was by far the best the offense has looked. I don't even think anything else is in the conversation. And I think the most encouraging thing about that, and we'll give you the in-depth breakdown here on SNL, is that they look good in the red zone, which is something that they're gonna need to do. I don't think this is gonna be a high-powered offense, but when they get in the red zone, they need to handle their business. And at least from the passing element, they look good in the red zone. They still can't run the ball, but that's a discussion that we might be able to expand upon as this episode goes on. Reacting to day 4 now?
This is the fifth practice.
Day 5 of Texans training camp here on SNL.
Yeah, it was a really good offensive day. They had just enough from the offensive line a bunch of times throughout the course of the practice, and once they got into the red zone, yeah, they were able to put the ball in the end zone a couple of different times, getting it to a variety of different players. I mean, Higgins and Collins and Schultz, and even when the backups got in there, Daniel Jackson, Jakob Johnson, there was lots of good stuff from the red zone. Certainly for a team that sent the kicker out far too many times for the last year. This is a much better red zone day.
Now, the conversation about the running game has been something that I've kind of focused on, and you've kind of focused on Nick Chubb specifically. I'll ask this question after, when we hear from Nick Chubb. Did Nick Chubb look better in pads? Because that was kind of what we were going to wonder. Did Nick Chubb look better in pads? We'll talk about that on the back end. We also got D'Amico Ryan speaking on Mixon, but let's just get right into it and break down the first padded practice of camp. Before that, though, Wags, good day to you, my friend, on the soup. You ain't never hate. Swarm. He says, are we going to look at a running back in free agency?
I don't think so. I think that's their crew, and they got J.J. Taylor back from the physically unable to perform list today. I know that's a Landry Locker favorite, and between Taylor and Marks and Agumbawale and Chubb and Jordan and Brooks, and then eventually Dameon Pierce, and then hopefully at some point Joe Mixon, that they're going to figure out their running back room, it seems, out of those guys. Now, should they? I mean, if there's a workout to be had, if there's somebody they feel like they can bring in, sure, but it feels like they're going to give these guys the crack at figuring things out behind Mixon.
So the news today, as we start practice, so I thought it was very appropriate that Nick Chubb was a Nick Chubb podium day because we did wonder what he would look like in the pads. So we, right off the top, we knew that Nick Chubb was going to be at the podium. Christian Harris is still working on the side. He was jogging. He jogged out there, but he's on the side. I think tomorrow's the day. I think tomorrow's the day. It was pads today. I said it was going to be today. I did not know. I thought Saturday was going to be the pads. So technically, I thought that he would practice the first day after the pads. I think tomorrow's the day. What are you laughing at? Can I not call my shot? Tomorrow's the day.
It's man, there's tomorrow's the day has been the mantra for many of people that have ended up not ever getting what they want.
Tomorrow's the day.
Tomorrow's the day.
Tomorrow's the day.
I mean, I promise you got to get in on this crypto right now. It's gonna to the moon tomorrow, man. To the moon. You got to get in on the crypto. Go in your Robinhood app and buy it.
So practice also started a little bit weird because
this was a really weird start to practice. I did notice that too.
They had like a 2.5 minute special teams period that was like,
it was just
very fast. Yeah. And I couldn't quite tell what they were trying to do. They basically had a little they lined up and then they were right to the to the Indy. So I don't know what they were doing. Maybe there's a little more to it, but it was an awkward start. And then when we got to Indy,
Well,
I
the one
noticed.
thing I want to know one thing from that special teams period is Ed Ingram is still on that first field goal team. So I still feel like that leans itself to him being the backup guard or one of the backup guards.
Yeah, and that's what he's been. So no Petrie or Mollett again. So another day without Jalen Petrie, another day without Mollett. So I mean, if the days pile up, we'll probably get a closer look to it, but maybe they're just kind of being a little bit cautious with Petrie because they feel that they missed him a lot last year and they're just kind of trying to figure stuff out. Don't know, but
$10 million investment, man. You got to be cautious with him.
Yes, no doubt. Orange Drink, this is very hurtful. He says, if this was a casino, you would have been felted long before you got to keep doubling down on Harris. LOL. Might be getting escorted out at this point.
Sir, you need to leave.
So there was no Petrie, no Mollett. Tank was on the side with the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
No Wayne, no Jared Wayne, which kind of opened up an opportunity for Mechie, I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually had his best practice by far, Mechie. I mean, it was he recovered. Now and I guess this is good. This is like a good thing to see, but he had a drop early, and then after that, he recovered quite nicely and had a really good practice. So I thought that was we'll get into that when we get into the team breakdown. But Jalen Petrie out. Wayne misses, which opens up the opportunity for Mechie. He took advantage of it. And then we got to the Indy, and I biggest observation for me from looking around, Jakob Johnson is tight end 4 right now. He's FB1 and he's TE4. I think I would say he's ahead of Irv Smith. Is that fair? Like I would like
yes.
it's because I mean he's in on blocking downs, like, and they've used him in a traditional fullback, and quite frankly, he's a pretty smooth receiver, which was an observation I had in minicamp. Like, he looks the part of a tight end. He looks every part of it. So when we're talking about the 53 and who they will or won't keep, I think we almost need to look at Jakob Johnson. We always talk about that word versatility as we get like further down the depth chart. He's TE4 and he's also FB1, and I bet he might be above TE4 if we're talking about blocking downs. So I mean, he's
true. Yeah, if you're just going by pure blocking, he's probably higher up than that.
Yeah, I feel like Jakob Johnson's going to be on this team.
Probably, I would think Thursday is probably my first in training camp crack at a 53. I'm probably going to put him on there.
Yeah, because I mean, and he's also doing some special teams. And by the way, he was a big time celebrity today. He was doing interviews in German on the side. So
NFL Germany was there.
So Jakob Johnson, one observation. I mean, that's obviously not going to be like the title of the stream, but it's definitely an observation.
I mean, we could really increase our German viewership if we started putting him in the title.
Dude, you might be onto something.
Jakob Johnson's making the team, and we look at our little analytics, and it's like the German views just boo.
So then we had some during the Indy, we had some porn on the field, which was a little bit it wasn't too bad. AKA local media porn with Tank Dell and Andre Johnson talking on the side. Had to keep my head straight.
What you gonna say?
So we had Tank Dell out there. He's running around. He was very observant. I think we got to stop this Tank Dell might be back this year thing, though.
He was not running around.
No. Okay, he was out there. Yeah,
let's be. Tank Dell was observing from the sidelines at a portion of practice.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want somebody to hear that and take that totally.
Yeah. No. We've yet to see him run. He's walking.
Tank Dell was physically there at practice watching with Andre Johnson.
Yes. Fact.
Yeah.
Fact. So we got that. Then we went to special teams. Tank was in the behind the line, which it's the slot guys. So when I say slot returners, the three guys that they have back there. But by the way, there was an interesting moment in special teams as we get down. I think someone had a good sign. I think there was a good observation that we picked up that was a good sign for someone on the team, perhaps trying to make the roster, who's had a good last few days. We'll talk about in a sec. But Tank Dell was back there, and the slot guys are Barrios, Kirk, and Noel. They're the return guys that they put back there very consistently. So that's what happened.
Yeah. And I would tell you that Barrios, Noel, Kirk is the order of which I would say that's how good they are. I think that's the order that they've performed as return guys as well.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Andrew Lowe says, shout out to I Must Pandaline, the GOAT.
Like Panda gave away some training camp tickets in the chat.
Oh, look at that. Shout out to I Must Pandaline. That's very nice of her.
Guess what SNL's going to do today?
What's that?
We're going to give away some training camp tickets for tomorrow.
A pair?
A pair.
All right. Who can go?
Okay. We'll figure it out before the end of the show.
We'll figure it out. You got to be sure you can go those 9 a.m. practices. So then we go to a little bit of a break. There was a Derek Barnett sighting. He was walking
around.
Yeah, he was walking around. So first time I've laid eyes on Derek Barnett all camp. So we saw him. Then we get to team one. And in the words of D-Generation X, break it down.
Yeah, so your first offensive line out there for team one, Cam Robinson at left tackle, Laken Tomlinson at left guard, Jared Patterson at center, Titus Howard at right guard, and Ariante Ursery at right tackle. So Ursery got the first crack ahead of Blake Fisher in pads. And then, kind of looked like Blake Fisher. We'll get to that. First play out, they go 3 wide, and this is the first time I'd seen this in one of the early cracks at the team portion. It was Jaden Higgins and Christian Kirk and Nico Collins as the 3 wide receivers. You had Higgins opposite of Nico Collins, and a lot of times that had been Xavier Hutchinson in the first few days. So I thought that was notable. Initially, they start with a little run with Nick Chubb for a couple of yards. I think he tried to bully his way for a few more.
Yeah, he wanted some contact. He went up and rubbed up on the pad to pad with the safeties afterwards. You could tell he was kind of.
And then the scoreboard very quickly made it clear that it was a 2-yard run. And then the very next play, Ariante Ursery doing his best Blake Fisher impression as Will Henderson just flies past him. He gets the sack. Cam Robinson got beat bad on that one too. I mean, that was just one of those, hey, those defensive ends are going to do that to guys type of plays. Then they were able to run the ball for a few yards with Chubb. I had it down as a rush for 5 yards with Chubb. And then I love this play.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud had time. He gets over them. He's in his pocket. He sees Cade Stover. He lets it rip.
Lit the F up.
The ball gets to Stover's hands, and then Kalen Bullock, boom!
Solid, clean hit.
Flies in there.
Cade Stover acted like nothing happened.
Cade pops right back up. Bullock's losing it. CJ Gardner-Johnson's freaking out. They're excited. And I thought that was like one of those, like, okay, I was worried about the offense there because, they had a little bit of success on Saturday, and then there was like a big defensive play, and then they just kind of fell apart. So I was like, oh, here we go. Is this going to be the tone setter for the defense all day? You end up with Xavier Hutchinson making a really nice play. Jawar Jordan had a nice run, I think, to the left there. And then they threw in the second team offense.
Yeah, Hutch was across the middle on Stewart, kind of went to the right sidelines.
Yeah.
Jawar Jordan, I thought, had a little bit of juice too.
Jawar Jordan had a couple of nice runs.
Yeah, he looked good, which is interesting. Are we allowed to say running backs look good? Is it too early to say that? I'm asking.
I mean, I'm just gonna tell you what I see, and then I'll make assessments on how their athleticism looks as
I was told.
as needed.
I was informed that apparently, as we were driving up, and I was listening to I was listening to Webby and Boosie on the way in today, so I wasn't listening to Texans radio, but I heard that apparently a member of the media has said that that Nick Chubb isn't moving very well, and it's too early to say whether he is or isn't. But I will say, and I'll get more into this on my night stream, but I will say I did enjoy when I went back and listened to it when the link was sent to me, the 6-minute breakdown of the running backs that looked good before that. I loved it. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But then I started wondering, wait, did they do something that you're not allowed to do for that previous 6 minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have the full breakdown of that tonight.
Felt a little cheated. Stutes, moving on quickly.
So Jawar Jordan finished up that first team reps with the first teamers, and then it was second team time. Your second team offensive lineman, Zach Thomas at left tackle, Jalen Thomas at left guard, Jake Andrews at center, Ed Ingram at right guard, and Blake Fisher at right tackle. And the defense, I thought, was pretty good here. There was a pass over the middle that Mills tried to get to Irv Smith. Jake Hansen was in on a pass defense, and I didn't have too many notes from any of the Davis Mills reps there in the first team period. And then they went to the third team period, and they wrapped up the third team. Daniel Jackson had a great catch in the middle, a lot of traffic around him, really good throw. I don't know which quarterback it was. It was either Slovis or Mertz. Really good throw, right
Daniel
through some
Jackson,
traffic.
85 to those of you that may.
Yeah, 85. He catches it and then just kind of turns it up the field. Would have been a pretty big gain. So that's a pretty good way for them to finish up the first team period.
Well, Brooks got slammed to the ground too. He got rock bottomed.
Yeah,
Brooks.
There was a couple times where I saw a helmet fly off.
Yeah, British Brooks got kind of rock bottomed. And as far as Mills, I thought he had the best throw of the period with the toss to Hutchinson, I will say.
Yeah.
So that was the ob there. HDAV Traveler on the soup.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Afternoon, Landry, Cody, and friends.
Good to see you, my friend.
It is 4:20 right now, for those of you that may be wondering. Justin Pearson. He says, I saw a ESPN post a week ago that had Howard at right tackle and Ward and Ward at safety. And I thought there ain't no way these guys get paid for this issue. You know what was weird? They also had Danico Autry as a linebacker, because I've seen people talk about this ESPN thing. I don't know.
Is their depth chart messed up or something?
I don't know, but they had Danico Autry as a starting linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah, this has gotten a lot of runs. Someone messaged me this, and then I think I was talking to Seth today. I think he said something about it last week or something, Seth Payne. But yeah.
There's a lot of just, it's interns or AI over there, so I don't know.
So then we go to team 2. And for this period, we're starting at the opposing 40. So most of the team, if not all of the team up to this point, we'll get some 7-on-7 and we'll get some red zone in team 3. Well, they listed it as team 4, but I thought it was team 3, but maybe they counted 7-on-7 as team 3, like on the scoreboard. But either way,
but this is team 2.
Yeah, this is team 2, and this is at the 40, and we get our first touchdown of the year in team periods. Now, keep in mind, they're starting from like the 20 most of the time. So, I mean, there aren't too many 80-yard touchdowns. But it didn't start out too great. You had a colliding pocket. CJ, I thought, did a good job, though, of finding Stover. I thought he got the ball out of his hands pretty quickly. A lot of quarterbacks in the league probably would have panicked. I thought he did a good job feeling the pressure and finding Stover quickly. So I thought that was a good rep by CJ. Then, by the way, of note, the second offensive line was blocking for the first team on this on the CJ Stroud first team offense. So you had the second offensive line that you mentioned, which was reset the second O line.
Thomas, Andrews, Ingram, Fisher.
Yeah, they were getting first team reps. So they were blocking. Then you had a null slant from CJ. Then they went to 4th and 1 and they brought Mills out. Like it almost seemed like CJ was on like a pitch count or something.
That Noel slant, I think, there's a really important piece of it that I want to, like a really important detail to it.
Laid out. So
they had Higgins and Noel, they had them stacked, and then they went in, and then Noel went into motion and was able to get that first down off that play. And they showed that a couple of different times in practice where they put those two guys right there, and then you kind of had to guess who was going to go in motion. Sometimes the guy inside motioned outside, and sometimes the outside guy stayed outside and motioned as well. And that's, it's a little peek into the Kaylee operation, I feel like.
A little bit. So CJ and them left the field a little bit quick. I don't even think they just had 3 plays and then they kind of dipped. And 4th and 1, they brought out Mills. And I mean, JJ Taylor got blown the hell up. Now, I don't think there's going to be too many 4th and 1s where you're going to run JJ Taylor up the middle. So this was kind of like a practice thing, but I think most running backs would have gotten blown up there. But he got blown up. Then Mertz comes in at quarterback. You had a dump off to Woody Marks. He was hit by Arnett. Probably would have been able to lay him out pretty. Like he would have been able to lay him out on the sidelines. But you had the hit by Arnett. The offensive line was the 3rd string. It was Ursary, Scruggs, Cox, Henderson, and Deculus. So Henderson getting some 3rd-team reps, and then Deculus was out there. Then there was a pass that I think if Shaq got on Hakeem Olajuwon's shoulders, and then Hakeem Olajuwon let Sean Bradley get on his shoulders, I don't think they would have caught that pass. It was just a bit high, to quote the great Bob Uecker. And then you had a really good pass after the high pass, a dime from Mertz to Jalen Noel, who scored the touchdown. I'm sure this highlight's making the rounds on the internet. I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Then Stroud came back in. A quick out to Hutch, which I thought was good. I think the quick game is going to be something they're going to do a lot once the season. These are the types of plays they're going to need. It was probably about a 6-yard gain to the sidelines to create 2nd and 4 in a game. Very smooth in every element, from the release to getting. I don't want to know about protection. Didn't really even stick out. You didn't really give them time. Then there was a dropped interception by Bullock. I think.
Yeah, so
CJ would have thrown that away, but I think CJ would have thrown it away in a game.
So it was a 4th and 4 situation that they were in. So he got flushed out of the pocket. Will Anderson's chasing him down. Probably a will sack, but you got to throw it. It's 4th and 4, and Bullock, it hit him right in the hands. He dropped it. And it's just like, this is one of the conversation points about Bullock from the season or for the offseason is like, he's got to catch those interceptions that come his way. And it hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it. And he was just, oh no. But yeah, that was a rough play that was one of the rougher plays for the offense all day.
Yeah, I think he hopefully would throw that away in a game, but he tried to go back across the field. Then Mills came back in. He did a pretty good job avoiding a sack, kind of threw a skip pass, but a pretty good job by Davis Mills.
There were a couple of quarterback leans where they'd avoided the hand and kind of were able to step up. For a couple
4th and 3. Mills hit Noel on an out. Noel had a really good day. Mm-hmm. Then you had a Mechie drop, but he answered by having a catch on an identical route on the other side of the field. And that was it was a nice recovery by Mechie after the drop, which has kind of been one of the issues with Mechie, but he did a good job. I will say this. So the biggest takeaway from this, Davis Mills is having a good camp. I think I've already said this, but Davis Mills is having a pretty good camp. I'm not sitting here acting like, I'm not making anything big of it or anything, but he's been good. I think we're allowed to say Davis Mills is performing at a good level. And it's not like naturally you'll hear someone say, well, he's not going against the first team. Correct. But the second team O-line is getting their ass whooped too. So it's not like there's just no pressure. Like, he's getting sacked quite often as well. And I think he's doing a good job of handling the pressure. I think he's doing a good job of getting rid of the ball. And I think Davis Mills is doing a really good job. And I don't think it's as simple as, well, he's not going against the first team. Obviously, it's probably worse, but his offensive line's getting its ass kicked too.
Yeah, it's totally fine to say Davis Mills doing a good job. I would also say they're not going to trade him, so we can just go ahead and kill any questions about that too.
No, you don't trade your insurance policy like that. Like that, Davis Mills should be a Texan for as long as Davis Mills wants to be a Texan. Like,
agreed.
Unless Mertz is just good, but I don't know that I would go that close. Stop it, guys. I'm not talking about no QB competition. Special teams. So this was a good moment, and this is one of those observations that you can pick up when you're watching practice. So, and I don't think you'll get this anywhere else, I can promise you. So we talked about on Saturday how Miles Bryant had such a good day with the test of having to kind of play the Petrie role and the Jimmy Ward role. And we said, well, it was probably the most personally productive practice of camp, where he did himself a very strong favor, kind of separated himself from the cluster that is CB3 to 6 or whatever.
Yeah. And he's just way better at that than D'Angelo Ross too.
Yes. So after that practice today, they were doing special teams, and on the far side of the field, they were doing full on, like the gunners were running all the way up the sideline. So this was like a full rep. This wasn't like a half rep. This is probably the most tired that you see the guys. So Miles Bryant he ran all the way down the field, probably about 60, 70 yards to where the punt returners were. And as soon as he does that, he's walking back, and Ben McDaniels yells to him, and you have 3 punt returners, the 3 slots, as I previously mentioned, Berrios, Kirk, and Knoll. Ben McDaniels yells, "Hey, Miles, come get you 1 rep over here." So they put Miles Bryant in the punt return line. It was just once.
It was literally just once.
but when you're talking about over the course of a season and guys needing to do other things and trying to find other ways for guys to help, it was a good sign for Miles Bryant. I thought the fact that they were having him get that rep and trying to find ways that he could potentially contribute on the team. He's not going to return punts in a perfect world, but I thought that was a good sign for him.
Yeah, that's absolutely. It just adds to his candidacy for this roster spot. And we know Petrie's on the team. So, but if Mollett all of a sudden is very injured or doesn't make the team, and they feel comfortable with Bryant getting the opportunity, and he adds to his candidacy with that, certainly.
Reminder, we're going to give away some tickets to practice tomorrow. So be hanging around. We'll figure out a way to get that done. Then we have a little 7-on-7. Don't threaten me with a good time. A little 7-on-7 action.
Yeah, this one I was a little bummed out as I watched them get ready for 7-on-7, because I thought, okay, they'll go do 7-on-7, then maybe I can sneak over here and watch O-line, D-line, like one-on-ones. Well, they didn't do O-line, D-line one-on-ones. They were just doing, O-line practice with each other and D-line practice with
They're working on that technique, bro.
And I was like, all right, bro. 7-on-7 will suffice. 7-on-7, not just 7-on-7, but 7-on-7 in the red zone too. So
this one started out as the Kamari Lassiter show. Kamari Lassiter with the PBU on play 1, and then he kind of wrestled the ball free from Nico Collins on rep number 2. So Kamari Lassiter with 2 plays right off the top.
So you're not giving Nico the touchdown on that?
No, that ball was on the ground, brother.
Okay.
But you think they're going to review it and say he had possession?
Yeah, I must say like the play was over and then it got knocked away. That's what I would say about it.
Okay. Well, you're giving Nico the TD. I'll give Lassiter the rip.
On the Nico TD, not TD play, Higgins had a competitive rep against Stingley. Obviously, the ball doesn't go that way, but it's not like he was like locked up, no chance you're going to throw him the football. Like, he had a nice rep versus Stingley, And that's the first time I can remember seeing 81 and 24 match up in practice, but he had a nice rep against it.
Then Davis Mills enters. He has a touchdown pass to Knoll on the slant. Then there was a drop touchdown by Knoll on the other side on an out, his only drop of the day. Then Mertz comes in. Jakob Johnson, touchdown.
Yeah, over the middle.
Shout out to, by the way, Germany in the house, by the way. Shout out to Germany. Jakob Johnson, good day for him. And then British Brooks with a nice little touchdown to conclude it from Mertz on the out. So 7-on-7, relatively quick, but the end zone, and you had some touchdowns from some guys that you don't hear as much about with Johnson and British Brooks.
Yeah, Jakob getting a touchdown on the day where NFL Germany's there. That's huge for Jakob. It's a good job for him. And then that British Brooks one was, just a nice little short touchdown, gets out of the backfield and takes care of his business. So that was good.
Let's go to team 3. They had it listed as team 4, but let's go to team 3, the final team period of the day.
Yeah, so this was interesting because it was that first team offensive line that we talked about. Robinson, Tomlinson, Titus Howard at right guard, Ariante Ursery at right tackle, but they swapped out the center. So it's Jake Andrews at center initially instead of Jared Patterson. And boy, they got old Will Anderson, and Will Anderson almost got them, but they got old Will Anderson. When you got a shaky offensive line, play action's a scary thing to do sometimes, but they ran a play action, and Will Anderson wasn't buying it, and he's bearing down on CJ Stroud. And Stroud does a great job of staying calm, setting his feet enough to get the ball out, gets it around Will Anderson, who's like right there in his face, gets it out to Stover, and Stover grabs it, turns upfield. Here comes Jake Hansen, and I talked about it the other day when they didn't have pads on. I was right. Jake Hansen goes to thud Stover, boop, right off of Stover, and Stover just kept going. So it's a good job there by Kate Stover. Good job there by Stroud to get rid of it. I had Chubb for another short run. Again, it's very hard to run the football right now for this team. Ariante Ursery got another taste of Will Anderson's pass rush abilities. He just – everything we said about Fisher for the few days, like when he goes against Anderson, is the same thing.
He got jinxed, dude. He got jinxed. Ursery got jinxed by Aaron Wilson. Aaron Wilson tagged the agency and said Ursery was having a good camp, and then he tagged the Minnesota Gophers, and he jinxed Ursery. This is the Aaron Wilson jinx, by the way.
Yeah, they were warming up still or doing individual lineman stuff, and he tweeted out a picture of him and said he's having a good camp. And then Will Anderson ate his lunch for two straight team periods. And then one of the better plays of the day, I probably would have had it as the play of the day if not for the Knoll pitch and catch from Mertz. But Dalton Schultz, who'd been behind Stover quite a bit in putting the tight ends out there, Dalton Schultz goes out there and just heads towards the corner of the end zone, and CJ Stroud just nice and easy puts it up there. Boom, there's 86. I know Justin Watson ran the route and ended up in the same area. There was some confusion about, was it 84, was it 86? But we watch, so we knew it was 86. And so that was nice. Then Dylan Horton he just dominated Cam Robinson and found himself in there for a sack. And then there was a little bit of, I don't know exactly what happened, but Darrell Taylor ends up on the ground, takes a minute, gets up. He has to sort of gingerly walk off. Got to pay attention to see if 52 makes it back on the field tomorrow. And then again, from the slot, Jaden Higgins comes across the middle, gets in CJ's line of vision. Stroud finds him. Touchdown on Miles Bryant. And then they go to the second unit. Mechie's got himself a touchdown from about 15 out. EJ Speed was flying around, man. He had a stuff at the line of scrimmage on Jamar Jordan.
He blew Jordan the hell up.
Oh man, I felt bad for Jordan. He got smoked on that
and
one.
he EJ Speed is like so tall that like he lunges, like his whole like body like just lunges, and it's like he's tackling the guy, but he's like his feet are like 7 feet away from him, and he's 6'4", but he is freaking tall, man. Like he is a freaking tall linebacker.
He had a really nice day.
He's like taller than a lot of the ends.
He's got a chance to be a really key backup for this team too, especially
a chance. I mean, we talk about Christian Harris, like it's a good
my hope is that you never need to use him, but you're probably going to need to use him. Henry's been hurt the past couple of years, a couple times, and Aziz got hurt last year too. So had a Hutchinson front of end zone catch for a score. Hutchinson just it's not, there's anything like flashy or amazing or anything.
Nah, he's solid, man. He's solid, and he's comfortable. He's a starting special teamer. Yeah, Hutchinson. I'll put it this way, like the last 2 years where Hutchinson has kind of been you needed to depend on him to make plays as a receiver when guys were out. There never really felt like there was hope that was going to happen. But it does feel like you feel a lot better about it this year. Like he's clearly improved a lot.
Yeah. It feels like he's finally coming into his own there. I had Speed for a tackle for a loss, just darts in there, blows up the running back. I had the Birdman with a sack. Thought that was yet again, if it's a day of practice, Solomon Byrd. Solomon Bird's going to have himself a day. My handwriting got doctorish over here.
So there was a Irv Smith out, just a little out route for about 3 yards. Then there was a swarm sack and intentional grounding. I think that pretty much Slovis, not only did he get sacked, even if he hadn't gotten sacked, it was intentional grounding.
So I had it as Mertz. You had it as Slovis?
I'm pretty positive it was Slovis, but
Race car.
these blue jerseys are, by the way, I like the red jerseys. They're way easier to see.
Yeah.
But I would say I thought it was Slovis, but I could be very well wrong. There's no consistent reps there. But then you wrapped it up with a very blah touchdown by Daniel Jackson. It's like,
whoa. What are you doing? Blah touchdown for Daniel Jackson. What do you do?
I mean, it was like practice is over. Nobody's trying. It's all the fourth stringers, like a blah touchdown. Like there used to be for a while, Jared Wayne was the king of the blah into practice play. Hey, he's had a nice camp. So now it's not blah. He's making plays when it really matters, but it was just a blah touchdown. And then you had a throwaway to end practice.
Well, I had a Keontae Hamilton sack instead of throwaway. I said Keontae Hamilton sack, but
very generous.
Maybe I'm a little generous to the big fella.
Very generous, I would say.
And so that's your practice play-by-play for today.
Yeah. By the way, Mechie had a good practice. I'll give him some credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna give away these tickets first. So I got to talk about BobTac. Shout out to BobTac. If you need safety with your company, BobTac is the way to go, especially if you're local, because they're local. They've been in the industry. Shout out to Bobby, 45 years industry experience. He's got the Pasadena warehouse, safety supplies, PPE, spill control, trucking, maritime, all that. They got you covered 24/7. Call them. Call that number right there. Text them. Go to bobtac.com. Hell, if you need something around the house, they got you covered, whether you're on the dock, whether you're a trucker, all that type of stuff. They got you covered. 409-744-8225. Let Bobby keep you safe and while paying less and getting more.
Yeah, you can't beat that free on-site local delivery, and check out that website and peruse everything that they've got. And they've got everything, let me tell you. So if you are a part of the purchasing or know the person part of the purchasing, save your company some money, shop local and get more.
Let me clarify something. obviously the blue jerseys are look cooler than the red jerseys. Like that would be a crazy take. I'm talking about as far as observing practice and seeing the quarterback and seeing what's going on and seeing who's who, especially when you're wearing blue practice jerseys, blue and white. So yeah, obviously I think the blue looks a lot better. So yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I agree too. Are you gonna you just go ahead and put it on the screen, damn it.
Yeah, we got this from Patrick. I think this is
oh God.
Oh Lord.
They got me. He's even got the Houston football hat in there and everything.
Oh my gosh. That's wild. That's a wild one. Yeah,
he made my second chin bigger. I don't know why he did that.
Oh yeah. You gotta tuck it in, man. You gotta get that angle.
Patrick.
On the soup, Jacob, he has a question about gambling.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Very strong accusation. He says, "Hey Landry, you're a degenerate gambler. Do you have any tips for the Hall of Fame game?" Look, here's the whole thing, and this has always been my philosophy. There's no shame in betting on preseason football because they all pay the same. So, like a $100 bet in the regular season pays the same as a $100 bet in the preseason. So, I know it's frowned upon. I don't think it should be. No, we're not talking dog racing or anything. I really don't. Usually, if the over/under is less than 30, I like to bet the over. But I would probably, it's going to be Detroit and the Chargers. I would probably just go. I would probably just stay away from that. I'm not even. I want to touch the game. But if the over/under, I don't know what it is. If it's under 30, I usually take the over. Those are my thoughts.
Apparently, Trey Lance looked pretty good for the Chargers. So,
he's a preseason stud. Yeah, go with the Chargers. Yeah, go with the Chargers then. If it's Trey Lance, he's going to be. Yeah, he is a preseason legend.
Yeah,
go ahead and go with that.
Nick G asks if we had to go Ursery or Fisher right now, who would we go with?
Ursery. No.
Ursery.
Next. Yeah, Ursery easily.
Yep.
That would be it. All right, so let's hear from some of the players and coaches. Brevin Jordan was at the podium. I'll react to that tonight on the stream. What a very, very, very
excited to be playing football guy.
Yeah, what a like very like positive dude that Brevin Jordan is. And then Sheldon Rankins, who didn't get a lot there, although he did have shingles and something else. I've had shingles before, and I'll tell you that just that alone sucks. But he had it with something else at the same time. That's awful.
Yeah, like meningitis or something.
Yep. Let's hear D'Amico Ryans. He spoke on Joe Mixon, and this is what D'Amico had to say about the status of Joe Mixon on the aftermath of the report that Ian Rappaport had over the weekend.
Yeah, nothing's changed with Joe. Joe is still working, in the background. I know we get reports about Joe. Nothing's changed. He's still working. Whenever it's time for Joe to be back, he'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Like when he's back is always kind of something I kind of laugh at. But
my question about the phrasing from D'Amico Ryans, because if he's not going to tell us what's going on, then we have to nitpick the phrasing. Nothing's like the way D'Amico Ryans said it made me feel like there was not a setback for Joe Mixon. It was, this is when Joe Mixon was supposed to be back. Now, of course, they can say whatever the hell they want.
Yeah, I don't trust D'Amico when it comes to injuries, so it doesn't matter. And I don't expect him to be completely honest. He's actually going to explain why he handles injuries the way he does. But look, we had some fun with the report, non-report, buried in video, whatever, with Aaron with the covering all bases on the Mixon injury. He makes it seem like it wasn't something that they felt great about, and they never expected him to be ready for camp. That's basically what I've gathered. Like that's basically what I gathered from D'Amico Ryans.
Correct. Like there was a not really a chance that Mixon was going to be ready early in camp at all. And if anything, he's getting late camp, but probably just ready for the season.
Yeah, so I think it's almost like it seems like he doesn't like that Aaron said that it was nothing serious. And that's kind of what I.
Well, let's hear D'Amico why he doesn't like talking about the injuries, and then again, I think there's some read between the lines there to it.
A lot of people want to report a lot of things about guys with injuries. My thing is this: are you really concerned about our guys? Or are you really just trying to get something out there, right? And for me, I always put my players' health and safety first and foremost. So I care about the guys, so you guys don't hear me talking a lot about injuries because that's their personal information. Guys are working through that, and it's nothing to report or get in an uproar about. Like, our guys are working, and it's always sensitive to me because I've been there. I've went through that. So it's not just to report something. Like, I want people here who truly care about our guys. I care about our guys and what they're doing throughout their process, and it'll continue to be that way.
And I've always respected his point of view, even when it's kind of been like an eye roll with injuries, because I do know he's a player's coach. I do know what he's saying, but I also understand that fans, like, when you don't give an update, they assume that it's not serious. So it almost feels like when it is serious, you come out and say he's going to be out that time. But again, it's D'Amico's a player's coach. He has his POV, we have our POV, and media has their POV.
I would also say too, if somebody says a player's supposed to be back fast and then they're not back fast.
Yeah. It's a give and take for sure.
That works negatively against the player in public perception. I feel like that's what D'Amico Ryans is really like. I feel like that's maybe specifically about Mixon. What irks D'Amico Ryans is if you say my guy's supposed to be back and he's not back, then it reflects poorly on him. It reflects poorly on the team.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where it kind of, rubbed D'Amico the wrong way. Cause the way it feels like he's talking about Mixon is they had no expectation for him practicing in July and early August.
Yeah. So you automatically think it's a setback because it was presented as that it wasn't serious, or it was serious, whatever the hell the initial report was. So yeah, I get that. I think it's kind of like a give or take. It's kind of like a battle, but I can understand his point of view. I don't know what he's saying. Like, we want guys who care. Like, I don't think it's the media's job to like be too concerned like about that. But I think he just thinks that like rushing to report on injuries is just like, I don't think he really is down and doesn't respect it, especially if it's going to be all over the place. And, like we said this, and I've said it too, Aaron. I like Aaron. He's fine, but like I feel like it, and we said it in the moment. It was just a all over the place type of report. Like it was just all over the place. Like, maybe serious, may not be serious, blah blah blah. Like the initial, and then now we get this, and Rappaport. Like Rappaport was like a direct report. I thought like it was direct. They don't expect him. Pretty much, they don't expect him in preseason. They're hoping he's ready for the Rams. Mm-hmm. And I think it dismisses it. I think a report from Rappaport dismisses much speculation. Like, the only question now is, okay, is he going to be ready for the Rams?
Yeah, like, how much does he get on the field ahead of LA?
Yeah, it's not really like, well, will he practice? Will he be at training camp? It's will he be on the field for the Rams?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And look, if that's the first time that he's on the field, so be it. And they'll just have to make the best of it and try to figure it out behind him, should they have to go to the guys behind him.
Yep. And one of those guys is Nick Chubb, who we'll hear from in a second. But let's get a little bit more from D'Amico Ryans on Nick Chubb. Here's what he had to say about Nick Chubb and where Nick Chubb is right now.
Yeah, when it comes to Chubb and how am I comparing him, guy's age, he's been through a lot. It's not always going to be the same as his early years in the NFL. But what I hang my hat on with him is just This guy loves football. He's physical. He plays the right way. He prepares himself the right way. Really sharp guy when it comes to the protection scheme. He's on it. He's helping out the guys. Coach Danny Barrett has done a great job of bringing him along, getting caught up to our scheme. And so, seeing him today, he definitely showed up in the pass today. A guy who can play physical behind his pass. He can eat out yardage. So I'm excited to see him just play football. And that's what he's always been. He's always been a tremendous, football player, especially when he's healthy. So he's still working his way back. And it looks like he's in really good shape, and he'll continue to get better now going through camp.
Still working his way back a little bit. Okay. He'll get better as camp goes on. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, the man himself, Nick Chubb.
He better.
The man himself, Nick Chubb, he insists that he feels pretty good.
Yeah, I feel good. It's been great to get a chance to come out here and play some more football. It's been a while for me, so, I love it out here. It's been great getting back.
Now, you asked him about.
I asked him, are there moments where you feel like you're yourself from before the injury? And I don't think I was as succinct in the moment as what I just said, but that was the gist of the question. And this is what I got as a response, all 5 seconds of it.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago, so I'm getting over the hump. Look, I'll just come out here and try to be best I can.
All right, so he's still working back from D'Amico. He's got to get better in training camp for D'Amico. I'm still working over the hump from Chubb. So he's not a finished product, according to them. And if he does get better in the next 3 weeks, that'd be a good thing for him.
And he also says he's kind of ramping up. And this was an Aaron Wilson question about ramping up. And I'd taken notice that he's like running extra after the play. Like he's, 10 yards downfield, 40 yards downfield, all that. This is what Nick Chubb had to say.
It's going good. It's hard to get a burst when the defense is playing so good over there. But, other than that, every chance I get to get a quick 10-yard burst after the play's, done, I can. Just anything I can to get in better shape.
He certainly loves that little extra burst after a play.
I guess.
But again, the pads did not matter to me in my initial assessment of Nick Chubb because he looked slow in drills compared to the other guys. He looked less agile in drills compared to the other guys. And the pads aren't going to change that. I guess if he's just a battering ram and you don't care how fast he gets into the line of scrimmage and he just powers through, like, okay, sure. But, he was a little bit more than that. And
my question is this, and I hear this, and I'm not picking on Dave Cree in the chat, but I'll bring this up. He says Chubb will be fine. Can you define what fine means? Like that's I think because there's a couple of battles with this Nick Chubb thing that I think kind of need to be like laid out. Like he's not going to be what he was 4 years ago. Like we get that 3 years ago, or unless the Texans made the best offseason signing in franchise history. Like if you get one of the top 3 running backs in the league at what they got him at, then first of all, you might as well start planning your late playoff trips because that's going to be insane. So we can acknowledge that that's not going to happen. Here's a couple of things though that I think need to be kind of laid out. Number one, Nick Chubb deserves respect. Like he deserves respect. We know that. And he's very respected. So there's going to be he's going to be one of D'Amico Ryan's favorites if he were 60 years old out there trying to run the ball, because D'Amico respects what Nick Chubb is and what he's done. So there's that. The other thing is what you see is what you say. That's what you and I do. It's the same reason that last year I was saying Shaq Mason looks washed up and fat in camp. I said he looks fat, washed up. And it's not like you're just looking and seeking it out. If Nick Chubb looked awesome, we would love to say Nick Chubb looks awesome. Go back and listen to what we were saying about Joe Mixon the few times he was on the field during camp. Go back and listen. And I wasn't told at all, Vandermeer, that it was too early to say that Joe Mixon looked awesome. I didn't hear that. I didn't when I didn't hear that it was like too early to say that Joe Mixon looked freaking awesome. I did not hear that. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but I did not hear that. So that's the one part. The other thing is he's going through two battles. Like Nick Chubb is going through two battles right now. There's really three battles. One of them is very favorable towards him, but not if you're actually watching. But battle number one is father time. There's a reason most running backs don't even get second contracts. Some of the best running backs in the league, they don't even want to give second contracts to. Nick Chubb's way past the second contract area, like way past it. So that's battle number one that is always there and that would be there regardless of injury. Battle number two is the injury. And this isn't going to be the first time that we've seen him on the field. If you told me that it was too early because we hadn't seen Nick Chubb step on a football field, then I would understand that. But he played half the season last year. Like we saw him play half the season, and it was the worst that he's ever looked by far, to where even Cleveland, like people in Cleveland who love Nick Chubb, they were saying, okay, this guy doesn't seem like he's his former self. These are guys who's watched every snap of his career. So the people in Cleveland are saying that. So father time and the injury are two battles. The third battle, which it should kind of be kind of an equalizer, is they don't have an overwhelmingly deep running back room. Mm-hmm. So it's not in any, like I would say in most of the running back rooms, like if Nick Chubb were running in those backfields, like from what we're watching right now, it would be a little bit more obvious, but it's not a great running back room. But with that said, even though that's kind of like a favorable thing for him, he's looked worse than Woody Marks. He's looked worse than Jawar Jordan. And I also thought it was funny how when Vandermeer and Harris were talking after I was directed in the area of the criticism, John said Harris, and Harris wasn't really calling out the Chubb thing. I don't even think he knew what was going on. But John said that Jawar Jordan and Woody Marks were the two best offensive players on the field on Saturday, and he said it wasn't even close. So that was his takeaway. So that's two running backs ahead of Nick Chubb that were apparently the two, according to a guy who watches closer than anyone. Like I would put Harris. There aren't a lot of people that I say watch practice as close as we do. Harris is up there, but he had
different angles than we do too.
Yeah, he's got way better angles. But he said that two running backs that Nick Chubb is competing with were the two best players in practice. So there's that. I think British Brooks has almost looked good. British Brooks had a touchdown today, and British Brooks has a little, like British Brooks looks like he's faster than he was last year, maybe. Like Brevin Jordan said he's faster post-injury. Like British Brooks looks like he's faster. So that's the whole thing with the Nick Chubb stuff, is that like when are you supposed to, like, when is not too early, and why weren't we saying that last year when we were talking about how awesome Joe Mixon looked?
Yeah, if you're sitting around with not too early on Nick Chubb, you're going to end up being too late on Nick Chubb. So I'm at the party. I'm standing in the corner waiting for everybody else to show up. I already had a drink. I had to ask where the trash can was. Got me another drink. I was waiting for everybody else to show up.
For me, like the dream scenario for Nick Chubb is that Joe Mixon's good to go, and they can use Nick Chubb in spot duty to where he's fresh and he can figure it out. That's like for Nick Chubb, that's like the dream scenario. And maybe like you get to some short yardage situations where he's able to figure some stuff out. The problem is though, like all Nick Chubb does is really run. Now I know he's a good pass blocker, but so is Dare Ogunbowale. Mm-hmm. Like, so is that like, are you going to have two guys on your roster that are the one thing that you're hanging your hat on is that they're good pass blockers? Like in a running back room of four, especially when your top running back is banged up, that's a tough sell. But we'll see what happens with Nick Chubb. Hopefully they don't try to like force it too much to where if it is obvious, but that's just really kind of the layout of it is to answer the question, I don't think that he looked that much better in pads.
No. Did have the 1 5-yard run, which five's a miracle with this running offense against this defensive line sometimes.
Yeah. But the answer is no.
No, he did not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Primetime brings up a good point. Chubb wasn't supposed to come here to have a full workload, but now the tables turn with Mixon out. Now, yeah, like imagining Nick Chubb carrying the ball 20 times in a game is kind of tough for me.
It's
right now.
not going to be good.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. So
That's not going to be good. That's for sure.
we'll see what goes on and how that whole thing goes. But that was the in-depth breakdown. They'll be back at it again tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anticipating a pretty solid practice tomorrow.
Well, I always wonder too, like if you feel like the offense won, does the defense have a little bit of extra juice the next day? Are we getting the CJ Gardner-Johnson playing to the echo of the whistle? Are we getting Daniil and Will kind of unleashing hell on those tackles a little bit more?
Yeah. Damn, this is another good point by my IMUS Pandaline. They knew about the Mixon injury before Chubb was signed. I wonder how much they did know. Yeah.
I mean, I have to assume Joe was in the building, even though he wasn't at OTAs and mini camps.
Yeah.
It's like they had to have an idea maybe of where the foot was.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Yeah. Marks was in a pass first system. He'll be okay. Yeah, IMUS Pandaline's right about that. All right, so let's give away some tickets to practice tomorrow. And you can decide what you think of Nick Chubb. Or are you allowed? I don't know. I need to ask Vandy if I'm allowed.
Leave Vandy.
I talked to Vandy today. I love Vandy.
Leave Vandy alone.
Vandy knows I love him, dude. I'm just trying to get the rule book here. Figure it out.
Okay, I've got so courtesy of some of our great listeners who aren't able to go. Zach's one of them. He's in here. I've got 2 pair of training camp tickets for tomorrow to give away.
We went Nelly.
2 pair of training camp tickets to give away for tomorrow. Please make sure you can go. Okay. For this first pair, let's do a trivia question. And this will test some of the knowledge of the folks here. Let's do a trivia question. First person to answer in the chat is going to win a pair of tickets to training camp tomorrow. Okay. First person to answer in the chat is going to win a pair of tickets to training camp tomorrow. We've talked a lot about Nick Chubb. Where did Nick Chubb play in college? Where did Nick Chubb play in college for that first pair? Where did Nick Chubb play in college? Let's see what the folks in the chat, see who can get there first. Wow, you gave me a kind of a smirk here, but I don't know. Nobody's got the right answer yet.
Are we serious right now? There you go, Cedric.
You see,
level up right there in Cedric.
I see Bradley as the first one.
All right, well, whichever's first, it's clear. Yeah, there you go, Bradley Harvey.
All right, so Bradley Harvey, please email me. I'm gonna put my email.
All right.
In the chat. So Bradley won a pair. What do you want to do to give away the second pair?
I'm gonna do a hard count. I wanted to do this. So
I like this.
As soon as I say green, you've got to say give me 2 pair. As soon as I say green, you got to say give me 2 pair. Now, if you're offsides, you're not eligible. So if you say something before green, before I hit green, then you're not eligible. Ready?
Okay. Level up. You got to email me. Bradley can't go. Level up. You got to email me.
Yeah, level up. Email Cody Stutes. Give out that email again.
Yeah, I got it in the chat for the folks. CodyStutes@gmail.com.
All right, on green. Blue 87. Blue 87. Hit. Green. John Gruden's eating his heart out there.
Oh, it looks like, golly. Everybody hit that. I see Knuckles in the chat.
Knuckles won yesterday though, and he didn't go today. He didn't get to go today. So we got to let someone else have it. Cliff is right there.
Okay, so Cliff Hurd, send me the email.
Yeah. And we'll hopefully we appreciate everyone giving us tickets to spread the wealth. We got y'all covered. Much appreciation.
Yeah. Put in the chat, it's just CodyStutes@gmail.com. CodyStutes@gmail.com. And I put it in the chat there. And so Level Up, Experience, and Cliff are our winners there.
Yep.
I put the email in there, Cliff. So send me that there, and we'll get it We'll get it taken care of. Knuckles, send me an email as well. I'll see if something extra pops up your way. I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah, Knuckles has had a rough day today.
So Knuckles, send me an email too.
Justin P says Landry isn't like Jokic that apparently doesn't like basketball but cries over horse racing.
Did you see this? You see Jokic losing it when his horse won a race? He like ran on the thing and like hugged the horse.
That is awesome. I did not see that. Daniela M says, when is the practice ticket giveaway? Will there be more? The answer is yes, there will be more. We get to go
no matter what.
When we get them, we give them.
We try to get them out to the folks as much as we can. I wish we had hundreds of them to give away to y'all.
Space Age, before we get out of here, not to get off subject. I always hear food ratings here. Has anybody tried Velvet Taco and is it good? It's okay, but you can find some good taco trucks. Like it's way too expensive for what tacos should be. Like today, I went and ate at El Gran Pastor Taqueria. El Gran Pastor. That's my spot. Those are like dollar tacos. They got burgers. They got burritos like $6. So like if you're in Houston, you can just find a truck.
Yeah.
So no, I ain't into the Velvet Taco and all that kind of crap. $5 tacos? Come on. You ain't bringing it like that.
Get you a fan, Velvet or Panda. What are you talking about? A fan? They got fans out there? So what's a fan?
No, she's saying like a Texans fan, like someone who would actually like to go to practice.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, I did put some spice on that. Taqueria.
Yeah, you gotta get a little seasoning on those sayings, you know.
All right. Well, we appreciate everyone for rolling through. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like. Be sure to ride along.
I heard from Level Up. I need to hear from Cliff. So Cliff, make sure you email me.
And be sure to always remember.
Eat your fudge.
When it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.